Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, a guest from the presidential suite stole my slippers in a hotel spa. Entitled princess expects 14-year-old brother to quit school and provide free childcare and then tanks 5 businesses and blows through over $1 million. Update: entitled sister-in-law. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. A guest from the presidential suite stole my slippers in a hotel spa. So, this happened yesterday. I am staying in a mountain resort, in a 5-star hotel, and there is a beautiful SPA with a mountain view. It's holiday season, so needless to say there is a lot of people. Recently, I bought myself some nice Brunello Cucinelli slippers which I now use to go to spas. A guest just walked away from the jacuzzi in my slippers, which I noticed after a few minutes. I asked the nearby staff person if they have seen them, and the guy answered that a person walked away in them. At first, I thought it was a mistake, but then I noticed that there is no other slipper pair, only 2 of us were in a jacuzzi at the time, and it's less likely that somebody who walked without any would just put the pair on and go away. Staff guy asked me to wait a few minutes and went back somewhere. Turns out, they checked the spa cameras and it was a guest from the presidential suite. I did not want to make a hassle out of it, but I stumbled into this person, who was in my slippers, and politely said that he might have walked out in my slippers. The answer literally made my eyes come out. He said, literally, "Why do you care that much, greedy guy? They don't fit you, and you don't deserve them anyways." Then after my very angry "excuse me?" The one you typically throw before punching someone, he just threw them off and rushed away. Right in front of several staff members and guests. I had a friendly chat with a hotel manager who found me later in the evening. He said that sadly numerous stealing attempts like this happen regularly, but they don't take expensive things. A day before, a grown woman stole large ice cream dessert which was brought for a teenage girl while she was in a sauna. It costs less than $15. There are no poor people in this hotel. In season, which is winter and summer, a standard room typically costs above $500 per night. Presidential suite is more than $5,000. Imagine the entitlement of stealing slippers, even if pricey ones, right in front of staff and cameras. P.S. Sorry if it gets double posted, I had connection issues. Sounds like the hotel should just start adding charges to people's bills when they steal. Guest, but I didn't buy/use this. Hotel staff, no, but we have video evidence of you stealing it that we are happy to give to police if you don't pay for it. Theoretically good, but legally hard, and also they will have to pay the victim guest somehow. I also believe that might make things worse, as those entitled lifeforms will just think that they can pay it off. Really, it should be a blacklist. If it's mostly rich people who stay at this hotel, fines aren't going to faze them that much. Fines are only a barrier to people who don't have money to spare. Since you got your slippers back, I hope you don't mind me saying the showdown was hilarious. Oh yes, it was. On a side positive note, I now have an authentic story to tell in pubs XD. That if they openly let someone stay who they know will steal others' property, then they would be as guilty. It was not a dessert but an expensive item and should be treated as such. It's a funny phenomenon that rich people like stealing. It's definitely a mix of being both entitled and having minimal challenges in their life. I knew some guys who were wealthy, but they were underage at the time and I had my drivers, so I was their ride. We went clothing shopping once and the richest dude stole 2 pairs or jeans. He put them on under his pants while in the fitting room. Also stole some cash from me and burnt my back seat with a cig, I guess just because they could and cause they didn't care. Rich people steal more than poor people because they think they deserve it or that they're entitled, as the title says. After the guy kicked them off, should have said loudly, "Now I have to clean these after that trash wore them," then walk away giving a wink at the staff. Entitled princess expects 14-year-old brother to quit school and provide free childcare and then tanks 5 businesses and blows through over $1 million. When I tell people how messed up my husband's family is, people don't believe me, but trust me, there is no way that I could make this shit up even if I wanted to. I have endured 11 years of this carry, and it is time to spill some tea. It's lengthy, but I promise it is absolutely true and worth it. First, I will introduce the players: Daddy Warbucks, my husband's wealthy miserly father; Favorite, my sister-in-law; Junior, my niece by marriage and Favorite's mini-me daughter; Hubs, my husband; Loser, Favorite's boyfriend and male, my mother-in-law. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? Favorite was 14 and in her infinite wisdom gets knocked up and decides to drop out of school and keep the baby. 3 months later, she runs away taking baby with her homeless drug addict boyfriend who gets her hooked on meth. After the cops get called by finding Junior wandering the streets at 6 months old because Favorite left her in the company of other transients while Favorite got high. The cops, after finding a 6-month-old wandering the streets alone one too many times after finding out that Favorite was a 15 almost 16-year-old meth addict, gave Mil one of two options: she could either take custody of the baby or it would go into foster care. Mil chose to take the baby. Mil works full-time and can't afford childcare because Warbucks is the greediest miser and is at this time disinvested in all of his children since they sided with Mil after the divorce. Warbucks is financially abusive with Hubs and despite being wealthy refuses to buy birthday gifts or cards or pass on any of his pricey hand-me-downs without multiple strings attached. So we have a 6-month-old and a no childcare. Hubs is expected to graduate early from high school at 14 to become parentified slave labor for the next 12 years until the Junior is old enough to become a latchkey kid. Think being a stay-at-home parent is hard? Try doing it at 14. Favorite is in and out of jail for the next 16 years, spitting out 2 more kids with 2 more baby daddies, one of which is severely disabled. The disabled one she tries to keep in bond with, but her drug addiction and propensity to steal identities keeps landing her in jail. She sees him 1 day a week to give his grandmother a break even though Favorite cannot handle him at all. This kid is traumatized constantly because he is being ripped away from his mother. Authorities talk her into giving up a healthy third baby as healthy white babies are highly adoptable. She expects Mil and Hubs to adopt this one, but they have had enough of her shit and are in no mood to raise another one of her crotch goblins. Third baby gets adopted first by an abusive family and then a batshit crazy one that lied to him about being adopted. He finds out at 16 when they kick him out for smoking weed. He seeks out his birth mom because he's homeless and they meet and get along famously, and he adores her because she expects him to even though she abandoned him. After 17 some odd years of jail and drugs, she finds out that she is HIV positive and it scares her straight. She sobers up and Hubs talks Warbucks into letting her live with him, and Mil finds her a cushy job with her boss even though she has just a GED and 0 work experience. Sounds good, right? She is not at all grateful for this job and won't recognize that her Mil got her the gig. Hubs' family is floored and impressed that she is sober and functional and dub her the greatest thing since sliced bread. This family is pathological about worshipping recovered addicts, while chronically ignoring all over children. We go on vacation together. Favorite and Junior take the master suite and Favorite sticks newlywed Hubs and I in twin beds in the kids' room because she deserves the master suite because she had done some unpaid babysitting work for the guy who stuck his neck out to hire a fresh out of jail convicted felon with 0 work experience. The vacation was practically ruined because Junior spent all her time arguing with her boyfriend who was pissed that Mil wouldn't pay for him to go, and Favorite whining that she couldn't be with her loser boyfriend because he was in jail for dealing drugs. More on this loser boyfriend later. She decides that she doesn't want to work a real job and wants to be her own boss. This is where the real entitlement shit begins. Favorite decides to open up a shop with Junior. Warbucks decides that having a shop would be fun and bankrolls the endeavor. Hubs and I also chip in $10,000 to make things go smoothly. 10 years later, Favorite has tanked not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5, yes 5 shops. Favorite can't do simple math, and Favorite and Junior don't realize that it is not good business practice for the entire management team to get in the habit of going gambling in Las Vegas twice a year, leaving shops in the hands of high schoolers making minimum wage. So yeah, 5 once-in-a-lifetime opportunities totally wasted. All of which Warbucks bankrolls to the tune of, if we had let the investments sit and grow, a whopping $2 million. That's right, in less than a decade she managed to piss away over half Warbucks' net worth. Meanwhile, she keeps bragging about what a success she is because she is a business owner who employs people. Needless to say, she can't keep those employees because she pays them starvation wages because she can't afford to pay them anything decent, and says that if they want more money they should work hard and be successful like she is. Loser boyfriend gets out of jail. She finds out that loser has been cheating on her while he was in jail with multiple women, including his wife, and still takes him back. She finds out he is cheating because his wife wrote her a letter pretending to be a lawyer threatening to sue her if Favorite doesn't leave loser alone. Loser gets out of jail early and shortly after Warbucks gets severely ill. Warbucks embraces Loser as a son because Favorite expects him to. Loser is unemployable because he doesn't have a social security number, driver's license, a car, teeth, or any marketable skills, etc. At 55 years old, the only thing he is qualified to do is manual labor, which at his age has few years of viability left. He has never used his social security number because he has always worked as a drug dealer and never paid taxes, so he is not eligible for social security and will always be a burden to Favorite and Favorite's family. In order to woo his lady, he turns back to dealing drugs to make money to buy her stuff. Loser moves into the house that Favorite shares with Junior. Favor expects MIL to keep working and not retire ever so that MIL can subsidize 80% of the market rate rent on the house MIL owns, so Favorite can keep paying peanuts in rent. Favorite and Loser get engaged even though Favorite is still legally married. Warbucks gets sick and Favorite and Loser take care of him for about a month. Favorite goes on blast on social media bragging about how awesome her man is even though he was making zero sacrifices in terms of jobs or other commitments to take care of Warbucks, and has all the self-interest in the world in regards to keeping his sugar mama happy. They flood social media with sappy pictures of them going out together and eating meals that they simply can't afford. Warbucks dies with practically no will, leaving whatever is left over to be split among his remaining children. Rocket scientist that he is, he puts all of his financial assets in Favorite's name and trusts her to divvy whatever is left over equally among siblings. She then views the money as hers and promptly draws out $50,000, with zero regard as to how this might impact her siblings, so that she can start, you guessed it, a 6 THS effing shop. Because tanking 5 shops hasn't been enough for her to learn her lesson, and her only employee and business partner is, you guessed it, Loser. She does this even though everyone who loves and cares about her has tried to talk her out of it. Even Junior, her virtual twin who stuck with her for the first 5, can see that this blimp won't fly. Meanwhile, at this rate, she has another 3 to 4 years before the money runs out, and since Hubs and I are the only frugal, financially functional, and moderately successful employed siblings in the family, I am dreading the inevitable day that she will come to us asking for money. Wait. A 6-month-old baby was wandering the streets alone? What sort of miracle child was this? Most 6-month-olds aren't even efficient crawlers yet. That's what I was wondering about. The average is walking at a year. I've heard of kids walking at 10 months, but never 6. That's where I smelled bullshit and didn't bother continuing. What the hell did I just read? If you and your husband have any sense, look into moving away and going no contact. I know you've probably heard this all before. And there is it to be continued on this. But the fact is that if you haven't left already, then please do. They will eat you both alive. Also, I don't think it's possible a 6-month-old infant was wandering the streets. Unless they were found being carried by people wandering the streets. Which is the only thing that makes it sounds plausible. It's fake, so don't worry. Please don't allow your husband to give his sister money. Let her crash and burn, please. Amen. This will be hard because he just became a big target as he just got a new job that pays 300+ K. So everyone, including OP and Hubs, enable and thieving, entitled manipulator, and wonder why she hasn't changed in all these years. In our defense, he had little choice about taking care of the baby. It was either that or the foster care system. We gave the 10 grand to not just a favorite but also Junior for a joint shop. Hubs raised Junior and she considers him to be a parental figure. 6-month-old babies don't wander around the streets. How is that even possible? I'm picturing it as the cops found Junior just sitting on a street corner crying alone. The wandering was either an exaggeration or this is some good fiction. Update entitled Sister-in-Law. My sister-in-law got pregnant at 14 and dumped a child on my husband when he was barely a teenager. My husband was a prodigy and graduated early, and so he wound up becoming a stay-at-home dad because the option was to put the baby in the foster system and he wanted to prevent that. She wound up abandoning 3 children in total, but my husband cut her off at raising one, so the rest. My sister-in-law spent the majority of her life in jail because she stole identities and sold meth. When she got out, she decided that she was going to become successful and become a business owner because she is too immature to hold a boring regular job. Father-in-law because he just wanted to keep her sober and liked the idea of bragging rights that his reformed drug addict daughter was a successful business owner. She was so successful that she tanked 6 shops to the tune of $1.5 million. To top it off, she went out of her way to find the biggest loser and fall for a career criminal who has never worked a day in his life and will be nothing but a leech because at 60 years old he refuses to get his GED or attend any classes and is too worn down from jail to do any manual labor. After taking 6 shops, her next brilliant business venture is to become a famous wealthy TikToker and YouTube, where streams videos her gambling and expects us to be excited about her new project. I think you and your husband should make bets on her next big thing. Relatives like that are why we drink at holidays. They could make it a YouTube channel. My sister's schemes, when will she fail this time? Devise some sort of Silfu bingo or drinking game for the holiday. Lots of stuff to put in the bingo squares. How did she get 6 shop locations? It's hard enough to open up 1 store location. 6 shops, you need some serious money and the other have to be successful. I have to ask if her boyfriend is a useless 60 years old. How old is she? Because if she is around his age, she is a little old to be a TikTok/YouTube influencer. Read the original too, it was difficult to keep track of all the crazies. Regarding FIL's will, if it was to be divided up between the siblings, then you can file a suit to have her fork out the money, but the condition is if it is explicitly written that the money is to be distributed to the siblings. While this lawsuit takes place, I suggest that you, your hubs and all of your descendants disappear from scene without notice and look for a life on the other side of the country or outside the country. Drama is exhausting. Your SIL is drama incarnate and you need to get as far away as possible. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.